The reason why I make these videos is because this is the Gospels, yeah. And they're still doing 2020 and Dateline and advertisement for vehicles and my life is not just in the Book of Revelation. It's in the 1322nd Redeemer in the Quran, um, Spirit of John in the Mormon Gospels. You know, you just oodlolly, oodlolly, golly, what a day. And yeah, I have to make these available because, you know, we have to fix technology so we can apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer, 'cause it's perfect thoughts, words, and actions to for human beings not to be a threat to their planet and their species. You know, so it doesn't matter if Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't like parsecs. You know, units of measure in space time. Uh, Perception. It's like, okay, but apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer before we decide we don't like that unit of measurement that really isn't applicable in any kind of, you know, the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer far exceeds the perception of a parsec. Okay. Understand? Well, we're not doing that. And why would we even think about parsecs if we're not applying the physics of the Lord's Prayer? And may, you know, be a threat to our very planet and species before you can even parse up to Star Trek, Star Wars, Star whatever, right? And so, you know, it's you know, people running for public office and, you know, talking about their jobs and their careers, and they're mass murdering each other with technology and airplanes and bombs. And the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer is perfect human humility and understanding to respect the planet, respect one another, and understand, you know, real meaning to life and the beauty of our existence in a humble, eternal fashion. You know, so it's insane, right? So yeah, I make these videos, okay, and they're not watched, okay. So you sit there and you go, so these are the Gospels, and you know, it doesn't matter what people think if I'm supposed to get on here and say, the Tolly of the Eckhart, Tolly Eckhart, Tolly Teletubby, Tinky Winky, Poe, La La, Dipsy. Buy the CD, the DVD, and the video, and we can keep bringing you programs like this if you keep giving us make-believe money, right? Like, shit. Just play the physics of the Lord's Prayer. We want to see this dipshit talking about the diocese files for bankruptcy because the kids were sexually abused because the diocese won't stand up for the Lord's Prayer and live the ways of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John today. So Bishop Mark J. Setz or whatever, seriously, you're such a fucking asshole. Did he say that? Yeah, I did. I flipped him off with a portrait of, is that Virgin of Guadalupe behind him? Yeah. He's standing in front of a portrait of the Virgin of Guadalupe, and he's telling us, be patient. We'll give you all the money you want to go to Las Vegas and maybe to prom and get the girlfriend experience. You know, it's like, okay, just forgive debt and trespass, love one another, eternal faith with these. Okay? I'm getting, aren't you sick and tired of you people? I don't know how these are going to turn out. I don't plan them in my head. I don't rehearse them. I just sit and recover from my abuse, try to, you know, fight away the depression from people just feeling miserable and being mass murdered and manipulated by the most dysfunctional perverts in the history of the world. Okay? Levi Monnagel, Huffman and Monnagel Law Firm. He's talking about some kind of bullshit in language about stuff that human beings make up that they call a law. He's having trouble making eye contact with the camera because maybe he knows, God damn it, I'm full of shit. Past, present, future operate at the same time. And I'm genetic sequence of a frogging moron. Yeah, you are. Oh, it has to do with the priest abuse, so they can get lawsuits to go to Pahrump and get the girlfriend experience. And what is Chapter 11 bankruptcy? That's people pretending that make-believe money is more valuable than the sacrifice of Jesus Christ to give us the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer. Still being able to operate. Okay, operate. Why do you need to operate? Just forgive debt and trespass, love well, eternal, faithful peace, and then just go home and rethink your life. And don't try to sell me death sticks. These aren't the droids you're looking for. There's Tusken Raiders in the third turn. Okay, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't like parseps. Well, a little girl that he was having a relationship with was cutie pie. I don't know, why would she light herself on fire? It doesn't make sense. She must have had some really heavy emotional things going on. You know. I had 2 times in my life where I thought about walking in traffic and driving a car under a semi. And that was when I was in, first one was in Casper, Wyoming. I mean, Casper, Sheridan, because, I was driving to work and I was just getting sick of it. My wife was screwing around on me with my own coworkers and everybody was talking shit about it. And they're talking about, getting custody of the kids and stuff if I tried to get away from her, the hell she was putting us through, and get the kids and not have to go through that hell. And everybody was kind of saying, that the mom will get custody and the whole 9 yards. And I had already had that happen to me with Patrick in the state of Arizona, where I paid child support to raise my kid while my ex-wife went to lesbian bars and then got custody of my son because she went in and lied to everybody and they all stood up for the, so I thought, well, it's just going to happen again. You get abused by these women, and then you get abused by the courts, and then you can't raise your kids to be intelligent, decent people, and there's no hope, at all. But then I told myself I was going to drive under the semi-truck and said, well, my luck, the stupid old Honda, the seat would go back. I'd break my back, end up in the hospital, end up killing a guy who's a pretty decent dad in the truck in the accident, and then still lose the kids, but being bedridden for the rest of my life. So I said, don't do it, Earl. And then the same thing happened to me when we went to Cochise County, and I was walking to work, and I thought, well, I'll just step in front of one of these assholes pretending to be the Fast and the Furious with the goddamn nitro in the car. We'll go, and I said, well, my luck, I'll get hit, fly up in the air, break my back, and the same thing will happen all over again. That I went through things. Well, my luck, I'll just end up a quadriplegic or a paraplegic, being abused by the system even further. And besides, if you do that, who's going to be the example for the kids? Like, I had that too when we were in Sierra Vista. Had all these visions in my brain from all the horrible thing the scientists do with sexual abuse. And I thought about going down to Mexico and getting castrated. Because, I didn't want to stay with my wife, because she was always screwing around and she'd do it horribly, and she would sex text the creep she was sleeping with right in front of me in bed and laugh at me and call me pathetic. And I thought, like Vincent van Gogh, only I wanted to stay alive to try to help raise the kids and help them be decent people so we could have hope for the future. And then I told myself, I said, Earl, if you go and castrate yourself, You're a good man. You love kids. You love women. You know, why should you take away your capacity to enjoy romance and sex and sexually reproduce because your wives go to bars and fuck complete fucking assholes that sex text you while she's laying in bed right next to you and laugh at you and call you pathetic? And this was before I started realizing that, goddamn, this was before I started working at Fry's, and they all started coming and exposing themselves to me and realizing these motherfuckers, the Patriot Act, they were, oh, damn them. This was before. I'm not an acutely paranoid person, and I didn't think, I'm the guy from the Book of Revelation, and I'm the center of the universe. How many parsecs to my my eternal grandeur? I'm just kidding around, but you know what I mean. So I talked myself through that one too. I said, no, Earl, that's just crazy. Don't do it. How are the kids going to have it again? How can I tell Noah and Patrick, go get yourself castrated. Don't have any kids. Let these assholes at Fort Huachuca and Navy SEALs and all the jealous punks be the ones to raise kids and pass on their genes to children. So they all act like them. That's wrong. It's wrong for a good man to give up and try to kill himself because he feels no hope for women and children because of all these perverts behind the technology and the money, right? And if the perverts behind the technology and the money can't admit to themselves just how fucked up they are, then it's obvious that I have to be the focal point of fixing technology, because then it's obvious why it's obvious, just blatantly obvious. And of course, my life is the evidence of the Messiah. It's blatantly obvious why people are praying to the likeness of myself as a God to save us from the devil, because most of them are seduced by the devil and have invented the Messiah into a God in their head that they think is better than the man who's really doing the deal. Shan Yu, the Plaza Theater, March 14th. Yeah, go file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And all this is terrible. It has this kid in this thing that you sit in, and it looks at you to see what your body's going on. Okay, you're being poisoned by extortion and exploitation. So if you go getting a piece of equipment for the equipment to look at your body and say where they have to cut parts of your body out or bump radiation to survive, is sick. And they get these assholes that are multimillionaires and billionaires holding food hostage and saying, oh, come on, get in here. Seriously. Serious fucking Lee. Okay. All that being said, I did enjoy the basketball game I sat and watched tonight. I was watching the Greyhounds and the Chaps. It was a very good game. It was a lot of fun. The girls were playing, and both teams played real well. Went into overtime. It was really a lot of fun. It was a fun game. Yeah, I like basketball. No, I'm not being Benicio del Toro. No, you're not being trafficked. I like basketball. And they're talking about more money-based education. You have to pay Montessori schools. You got to pay quite a bit of money to get your kids into that. You can't unless you get on scholarship or something like that. But you do know money's not real. So if you send your kids to a school and pay money for them to go to that school, that you're telling them that that invention is greater than the creation of all our existence. Giving your time away to go get money to pay for your kids' school so they can do the same thing is absolute insanity. I don't care how brilliant doctor, a guide to Montessori education. My mom paid for Corey to go to Montessori school. Yeah, she said they were the best and all that stuff and everything. It's like the best education you can give your kids is humility. Okay, to never trap the glory of the soul in the mind, to humbly understand natural laws of eternity, and share the humble understanding with faithful love with people. And don't give your time away competing over money from complete manipulative, aggressive, abusive, psychotic people that pretend to be caring, smart, intelligent, and teach you how to be compliant to economic genocide in a very demure manner. Okay? Don't send your kids to a fucking Montessori school. Stand up for the Lord's Prayer and stop being such fucking assholes. I was watching the kids, old Cooper Jackson and some of the other guys were watching the girls' basketball game, and they were literally making fools of themselves, having a good time because they were cheering their butt off for the girls. Right? They're funny, dancing and screaming. It was funny. Yeah, I used to do that with the girls' basketball games too. Yeah. It's fun. They played real well. Yeah. Chloe was hitting her free throws. So proud of her. And then they were playing good defense. So was Love Christian and the one little, what's her name again? Little number one. Yeah, I don't know why they had her 3 fouls in the first half, and they didn't have somebody. I think Smith was trying to attack her, but ended up fouling out doing it. I was real good at fouling people out. Oh yeah, I could get them to foul out pretty easy if I focused on it. Yeah, I was real hard to stop, and I was quicker than most people, and so you just move into a position and have them run like hell to catch up with you, and then just kind of stop, and they run right into you. It's like, that's one foul. No, you have to be in control. It's basketball. You have to play in control. So, you don't run like hell to catch the guy. You just sit there and stuff. But then if you don't, I just keep going. Set him and so it was, I understood, it's just a game, And the problem is we're not living the Lord's Prayer. And that's why I told that therapist in Port Hueneme, you'd hear them and they would go, and you knew they were going to hurt you. And since you knew they were going to hurt you, you just quit playing. Well, the coaches did it too. Yeah. And the coaches were the main instigators of it. Well, because they wanted to win and keep their jobs or get better jobs. But I guess they needed enough money to pay for Montessori school in New York City or Beverly Hills, where rich people live. Never heard the song by Foundation? Beverly Hills, where rich people live. Got Tremar, where poor people live. Got the ghetto, where poor people live. Beverly Hills, where rich people live. It's not rich. There's no rich, there is no poor. There's good and there's bad. And if you fight like hell over money, you're a bad person. And if you refuse to fight like hell over money, you're a good person. And if you're good enough, you'll be anonymous on social media for 17 years, correcting technology. And then when it happens, life's eternal and grace is infinite. People will be able to come, this is way different than the bullshit that the diocese that's filing for bankruptcy in El Paso and their corporation did all those years ago. This is way different. This is a scientific method. It has to be proven. Prove it. Yeah, and you have to be able to prove your religion beyond any reasonable doubts. Okay. And I'm going to a bunch of scientists that are using money that isn't a human invention that causes most genocide and causes most global warming and causes most rape and murder and so on and so forth. And then they have to justify what they're doing still to their technology, which is supposed to be supremely intelligent to human beings and Machiavelli. Okay. Do you understand? So you have all these people, he's just crazy. Yeah, I'm like Joseph Smith on the PBS thing that I watch. He was a religious zealous and he was nuts. He just didn't quit. It's like eternal grace is infinite. We have to live the faith of David and Solomon to save our children from becoming property owners of their own women and children and slaveholders. So yeah, Joseph Smith didn't stop. Well, because life's eternal and grace is infinite. Why should he stop? He should, when you're called to do the right thing, you keep doing it. Like Jesus told me, you're going to be successful or die trying. Going to die anyway. There's your incentive. So if you don't love Joseph Smith and you don't stand up for his faith in God and his wanting to live the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer, you're going to get caught dancing around on a Chick-fil-A commercial, getting excited because you're paying money to billionaires for root beer and ice cream. If you drink too much of it, you'll get sick, especially if you try to finish it off with a Cool Whip. Got to put its paces, right? You'll go driving around in your Nissan to pay extortion and cause heart disease and cancer. No, I'm going to never try out for a commercial again. Stand up for Lord's Prayer, and J.D. Power can shove their words straight up there. There you go. There you go. Okay. 5,000 cash back. Money's not real, you assholes. Okay. I'm just correcting the technology, man. I know. A lot of you in scientific land and space land and NASA land are having trouble getting your little brains wrapped around. We can still talk. You can still talk people into committing suicide. Wow, you're right up there with Adolf Hitler, Chiang Kai-shek, Mussolini. I mean, we're not talking Son of Sam or Jack the Ripper. You know, that's why those ones with the thing, it's Jack the Ripper, you know, on that one with the die. They send that little guy out into space. It's like Jack the Ripper. Okay. What about Adolf Hitler? What about Wall Street? Those people mass murdered way more people than Jack the Ripper. Okay? Hey, you people are sick, or the Boston Strangler, right? That's just a person that sold newspapers killing people because they were sick and a product of the people that vote for money and then declare war and mass murder people so they can, you know, pursue happiness. You are a butt kicker. You bet your sorry asses I'm a butt kicker. Okay. And it's always the wrong time to be to try to eliminate the glory of creation with the invention of your ego and not stand up for the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer. It's always the wrong time when you're a Roman emperor, you know. You're sick people, okay? Don't be caught dead on TV, you know, doing advertising for money that gets little girls raped to death in brothels and wars, okay? Everything you're doing for money gets little girls raped to death in brothels and wars, okay? There's the devil and Satan, and then there's the June 9th, 2009 posting on YouTube to try to get you guys to open your bucking eyes, all you buccaneers. Okay, so I wouldn't do it, man. I would just, you know, I maybe it's getting through to somewhere or someone at NASA, someone at White Sands, someone or some, you know, somewhere at the Higgs boson collider things. I don't know, you know, maybe, you know. I don't think I'm going to get through to Elon Musk and those two other assholes on the, oh, it's real exciting. We're at the top of the fucking Cherry Hill, Mary Hill Park roller coaster there, man. And then you're going to get on the Tonight Show juggling chainsaws and torches. Okay. It's so exciting getting paid brothel money to get interviewed by the nightly news, isn't it? Sick fucks. Okay. I love you. Okay. I love you. Yeah. Well, this is the this is the 21st century. Okay. And you have to tell it like it is. in order to get people to understand the perfect commands of a perfect eternal Father. And faith is only reserved for God. It's not reserved for scientific experiments to be manipulated by technology of money for complete murdering assholes on the 6 and 10 o'clock news. Okay, guys? I love you. Love you, love you, love you. This is for all the people in the world that want to live the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer, And eventually, these will be seen worldwide. But hopefully people won't have to watch them very much and won't want to go back and watch them because they'll be too busy living the Lord's Prayer than trying to go back and relive the past and go, God, this was miserable. Poor Earl, he was so beautiful. They were so horrible. Aren't you glad we're all like Earl now? Yeah, me too. All right, peace out. Great Caesar's ghost.